Hi everybody, salam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I just wanted to share something with you, that happened to me yesterday. And I'd like to ask you to, if you plan to listen to this video, to listen to it with an open mind. I'd really appreciate that. Yesterday I had one of the biggest panic attacks I've ever had in my life. I get them, sometimes around moments when a lot is at stake, I think. And I guess I was overwhelmed with, end of semester, unfinished business, unfinished manuscripts, so many deadlines, being behind on publications and applications. I was at the public library and I started to get these feelings, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I just started getting very, emotional. I could feel something coming, and I just packed my bags quickly and just was rushing out. And as I was rushing out, the panic started to happen. The heavy breathing, the sort of I was crying, and I got out of the library as fast as I could, and there was a large ice rink of so many children, laughing and playing and screaming. I just turned around and I was just like, I have to get somewhere. I couldn't really figure out where to go, so I was just like, I have to go. And I sat in this, there was this street alley where they had all these picnic benches, and no one was sitting around that area. It was cold outside, obviously, and there were some stores that were open. People were walking in both directions, back and forth, and I just decided I need to sit down. And I was crying, and I was breathing heavily. I was hyperventilating. I guess that's the right word to say, but to describe it, I don't exactly know how to describe what was happening to me, but I never know actually how to describe it. And then there was this gentleman that came and saw me, and he was like, "Do you need anything? Are you okay?" And it was very kind of him to ask. He lived in the building right beside where I was standing, where I was sitting. I just told him, yeah, I'm so sorry. I just apologized and said, I'm so sorry. This is just, I think I'm having a panic attack, and I just need to get through this. So he understood, and he was just like, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm glad you're okay. And then he left, and then there was two other people who came by who saw me, because it got worse. I started screaming, screaming and wailing practically. A man came by with his dog, and he just asked me if I was okay, do you need anything? And a woman came by, and they asked me if I needed anyone to sit with me. And I just said, no, and then she asked me if I need water, and I was just like, no, I'm really, really sorry. I was apologizing to both of them profusely apologizing, because that's what we're conditioned to do, to think that our condition is something to apologize for. And so I was just naturally, that's what I was doing, I was just apologizing, and telling these people that, I'm having a panic attack, and I just need to get it out. And they were just like, do you need water? And I was just like, oh, thank you so much for reminding me that I need water. I needed someone else to remind me that I actually had water with me. And so I was like, thank you for reminding me for that, and just like, thank you for your kindness. I'll be okay. And I was just like, I can't believe that I'm in my 40s and I still get these panic attacks, and no one understands. So thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. And no one understands. I just kept on apologizing and saying, no one understands. And the gentleman, the woman then responds by saying, I'm in my 50s and I still get the panic attacks. I totally understand. And the gentleman also said, I understand as well. I understand. Guys, I can't tell you, that moment when they both said, I understand, was a moment where something clicked in my mind, body, and soul. And I literally said that to them as well. When you just said, I understand, something just is I feel something happening, something in my mind, body, and soul has just clicked. No one understands. And I really appreciate that you're telling me this at this moment. I'm a mental health advocate, and you've just said the right thing. Even as mental health advocates, even as people who know these things, like you can't necessarily reach out to your knowledge bank and assess the situation in the best way for the moment, like to have somebody else remind you. And no one has ever done that for me, ever. Well, even in those panic attack situations, like no one has ever said, I understand. And for someone who has been so deeply misunderstood in her life, and who's talked about it a lot, I have talked about that a lot in my videos and in my vlogs about being misunderstood. My favorite quote is from Emerson: to be great is to be misunderstood. Just to feel like that sense of that, just to make sense out of this idea of being misunderstood as authentic people, for them to say that to me, I can't tell you how it felt. Like, it was just like Allah brought angels at that very moment through these people to help alleviate the situation, to help calm the situation. The whole time I was saying, no one understands, and I'm sorry that I had to do this, and we apologize profusely, because obviously we feel a need to apologize in these situations. We're so conditioned to think that there's so much stigma around these types of things. It can't be normal in the sense that you cannot normalize this without actually, intervening and doing something about it, and then and like caring for people, showing compassion and empathy and understanding to people. Also, at the same time, it's also normal in the sense that this happens to a lot. Like, they were telling me they understood that they've been through that as well, and they have these experiences. Even if they didn't quite understand, even if our panic attacks look very differently, because it does in all of us, just that kind of solidarity kind of moment of reminding me of my humanity was just something so incredible. I told them, like, what a revelation, like, it was at that moment. Like, what you just said right there helped calm the situation almost immediately. And that's the thing. If you understand yourself, if you have the level of self-awareness to understand that it is precisely this kind of language that helps you. This is the kind of thing that you should be telling to your family, your community, your society. Hey, these are the kinds of things that you should be saying. That I have a disorder. That I have this challenge. That I struggle with, depression and suicidal ideations and all this stuff. This is what helps me. But at the same time, the onus is not on the individual. As you can see, like, I had to calm myself down at that moment. But good Samaritans came by, saw someone hurting, and they knew what to say. They wanted me to feel like I belong. They wanted me to feel like I was human and that it was normal. That's what you call someone who understands mental health. Like, even if you don't quite understand it for someone, the idea that there's a possibility that someone might understand comes into your brain and then stops this sort of like this panic that is happening in your body. Like, I literally felt like something was in my body that was trying to get out and release, and I really appreciate being able to release that, even though it was public. I mean, it just felt nice to get that released at that moment. It was like so much that I was suppressing. Over the years, I've talked about the importance of power of conversation and dialogue and communication and stuff like that. Avoiding these conversations, not talking about it, not having dialogue, not actually communicating is what causes the continued suffering. The stigma reinforces the suffering. So I have to ask people to learn to understand. I mean, to show empathy and understanding, and that has been something that's been lacking in my life. Empathy, compassion, understanding. I just thought it was really important to share that moment, and I hope that people make an effort to try to understand. It's just about caring enough for someone to make an effort to understand, especially people who have felt so misunderstood entirely because of the condition that they have no control over. I had no control over that situation, and I kept on apologizing. Why was I apologizing at that moment? And they kept on correcting me. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize. Why was I apologizing so much? It was an instinct that I had from significant, reinforced suffering from stigma. And it's just from people who are choosing not to understand. And so I encourage you to learn, to communicate, to have these conversations, and to understand this whole idea, for example, of telling people who are suicidal to reach out to you. I mean, it's so backward. It's so backward. It's backward in the sense that when you know someone is struggling with suicidality, automatically there is a responsibility. And this is why people back away, because you're not willing to show the compassion, empathy, and understanding and responsibility that you ultimately have when you hear of a fellow neighbor, community member, family member, colleague, friend, tell you that they're struggling with depression, that they're struggling with suicidal ideations, and you are seeing them literally sharing their stories. And this is why I share my stories, because to build that understanding. And ultimately, it has risked additional stigma, additional perceived stigma and real stigma at the same time. And I just think these conversations are so important to have. And I needed to share the story with you, regardless of how people who see this video, I had to share it because it was such a revelation for me. I mean, these kinds of experiences just remind me how important it is to build that understanding and to have tolerance and respect for people who have these conditions. And if you're not going to talk about it, especially those who suffer with it, it's never going to, this stigma is going to persist. I'm striving to be in a position where people can actually hear my story and understand that this is real, and to support people in these situations. So anyways, thank you for listening, and for whatever it was worth, I just needed to share that story with you. So thank you for listening. I appreciate those who do take the time to understand, to learn, to have conversations. Honestly, I can't comprehend people who say, I don't fully understand. I mean, you can understand by having these conversations, by taking the time to talk to your friends, colleagues, coworkers, family members, whoever. It's about making an effort, and if you're not willing to make the effort, then you're never going to understand. So thank you to those who do make the effort to understand, and I hope you have a good rest of this year. Finish off strong, stay resilient, empowered, and connected. Take care. Peace. Salam.